Okay, so we got a quick video here. I'll explain a little bit about what I've been up to, what I'm doing,
Okay, so just to start,
and
showing everything
just
here.
what's going on with this bike trip. So basically, what's happened is I was planning on doing going all the way across the country from just turn that off for a second. I was gonna go Los Angeles to Washington D.C., but I ran into some issues while I was in the desert region of California near the Salton Sea. I was getting some burns, some bad burns, almost second-degree burns on my arms, even though I was wearing sleeves to protect from the sun. And I just basically had it in my mind at that point that I wasn't gonna fight with Mother Nature. I was just gonna find a different way. So I skipped the desert portion and I flew to Atlanta with my bike. And from Atlanta, I took about 3 days to get here where I am now, into Selma, Alabama. And you'll see the first of that, the first of those 3 days on the screen now. That was just a little illustration by a company called Relive. It said Roanoke to Rockford on it or something, but I think I got the title wrong. That was actually the ride from Atlanta to, actually, I have no idea which ride that was, but that's just a little idea about something I might include in future videos. Just a little bit of illustration to my ride. Has like an overhead view of it. But here's some images from Selma. That's the water tower as I was coming in. The St. James Hotel. Yeah, all these images here. You can pause the video if you want to read some of these plaques. This is kind of cool, telling about the first bridge and about the yeah, you can read it if you zoom in there. Here's some shaky video. Sorry about what's to come. This shaky video of the bridge there. But yeah, I'm basically, I had to skip a really big chunk of my trip, but I'm gonna do my best to go from where I am now, Selma, to Washington D.C. Here's a little doggy I ran into when I was on the southern side of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. They have some really cool monuments on that side, and there's even a memorial park that celebrates the accomplishments of what came of the march and all of the efforts by the civil rights activists in the city of Selma during the 1960s. This is it's really cool. It was like a screen that showed the events of the Bloody Sunday and later on the march to Montgomery. Some of the activists there and the heroes of that movement. Here's a little bit of video of me crossing the bridge. So yeah, for those of you who have been wondering where I'm at and what I'm doing, I had to skip a large portion. I'm just here in Selma at the moment. Happy to be here. Happy to have the privilege of experiencing this very important piece of United States history. And yeah, I'm just going along with my journey here on the bike. I have some other videos if you want to check out about the bike itself, what I'm eating and drinking, things like that. Here's some little insights about the type of mileage I'm doing per day. I think in some other videos I've said around 60 miles per day, but it's actually turning out to be just a little bit longer because of little side trips you have to take to go find food, or maybe you took a wrong turn. I took a wrong turn down a pretty sketchy dirt road. I'll be sure not to do that again. I mean, between looking on your phone and just trying to trust what your GPS tells you, sometimes it's better to go with the local knowledge, because, you know, I ran into a guy when I was on that dirt road and he was like, hey, you know, where are you going? And I told him where I was going, and he was like, that's not really a shortcut where you're headed. And I was just a little bit hesitant to trust the guy. I was like, yeah, I'll just keep going. Hopefully it'll turn out all right, is basically what I said. He probably thought I was crazy. But I just kept going, and eventually I found my way out of there. As you can see on the gradient profiles there, it's